The Fall 2023 Windows Update includes a preview version of Copilot, an AI assistant you can use right on your PC. In this course, you'll learn how to use Copilot to effortlessly perform a variety of tasks. Discover how to get detailed answers to any question, consult sources for the answers, and ask follow-up questions. See how to summarize text in your clipboard or web browser, and analyze screenshots and other images. Finally, find out how to tap into the creative potential of AI by generating a wide variety of text and images from a simple prompt. If you have the latest update in Windows 11, you should have access to the Copilot Generative AI tool right on your PC. This video will show you how to enable and hide Copilot in the taskbar. We'll briefly explore the interface and see some options that are available. So on my PC, which is running Windows 11, we can see in the taskbar that I've got the Copilot preview icon. This is because I've installed the update. Now, if you think you've installed the latest update and you're not seeing this icon in your taskbar, you can check a few things. So let's go to Settings. I'll click the Start menu. And in the Start menu, select the Settings icon to open up the Settings application. Notice in the top left corner that I've got a Microsoft account, a live email address, associated with my Windows session. This is a requirement for the update to work. If you don't have an account added to your PC, you can do so in the Accounts page in the left-hand navigation bar. If you're not sure you've installed the right update, you can check for that by selecting the Windows Update tab and checking your update history. Now, if both of these things are true for you and you're still not seeing that icon, it could be that it's simply not activated in your taskbar. So to add it, let's go to Personalization in this left-hand navigation bar. I'll scroll down and now select Taskbar. Okay, notice here that I've got a Copilot toggle and it's switched on. If after learning more about it, you decide you don't want to show the preview version of Copilot in the taskbar, you can simply switch this toggle off. Now I'm going to close the settings menu and go down to my taskbar and click that icon to open Copilot. It opens as a kind of side panel on the right of my screen. And this is a very simple interface. So at the top, we've got an option to choose a conversation style, which will determine the kind of responses Copilot gives. You can have more creative, more balanced, or more precise. You'll see a suggested action that Copilot can help you do. You can click here to add that request to the chat and see that in action. Now in the bottom, we've got a chat box where we can enter a question or something to say to Copilot. And of course, the send button here in the chat. If you'd rather dictate a response, there's a microphone icon. And in the bottom left corner of this chat box, we've got an add an image button, which you can use to paste or upload an image that Copilot can analyze. We'll see more about these things in future videos in this course. Now finally, if we go up to the top right corner, there's this three dots button. We can click here to open a menu of more options. And here you'll find options to refresh the chat, read the terms of use. There's a privacy statement. You can send feedback. Since this is a preview, Microsoft will use your feedback to improve Copilot. You can learn more about the app, and there is a settings option. I'm going to click settings. Currently, there's only one setting here, and this is to let Copilot in Windows use Microsoft Edge content. Now I've got this toggle switched on, and this will allow me to ask questions about the content in my active Edge tab. Of course, if you don't want to share that content, you can always switch this option off. I'll click the back arrow to close these settings. And now I'll click the X icon in the top right to close Copilot. Now you've seen how to activate and launch the preview version of Copilot in Windows. Copilot brings the convenience of Bing Chat powered by GPT-4, directly to your PC. Like Bing Chat, Copilot can answer an almost infinite variety of questions in one of its three conversation styles. I've got Copilot open in my PC. At the top of the Copilot side panel, we can choose a conversation style, which the app will use for its responses. So you can choose a more creative style. This is meant to be a more imaginative chat, which could be used for things like creative writing or brainstorming ideas. There's more precise, which will give you a concise and straightforward chat when you need a very straight to the point answer. This might be, for example, getting information with pointed questions or solving math problems. Now, the default conversation style, which is selected, is more balanced, and this is meant to be sort of a combination of the two styles. Microsoft bills this as an informative and friendly chat. I'm looking for a straight to the point, concise answer, so I'm going to select more precise. And now I'll go down to the chat box and click inside and type in my question. It's been a while since I've taken a math class. I want a refresher. I'll ask, what is the Pythagorean theorem? There's a typo in my question, but that's not a problem for Copilot. We can click the Submit button in the bottom right or simply press Enter. Copilot is thinking. We can see that it's searching for Pythagorean theorem, so it searches Bing for a response, and then it generates this response. Now it's starting to answer. We can click Stop Responding if we don't want it to go on. And now I'm going to scroll up and take a look at this answer. Notice that part of the response is underlined. We can click here or in the hyperlinked number to go to the source of this answer. And if we scroll down, we'll see this Learn More section where we've got all of the sources. So here it's Wikipedia, and I can click there to open up this source article on the Pythagorean theorem in Wikipedia in my Edge browser. So I'm going to close this Edge window. Now, you may notice also that in the bottom right corner of the response, there's a number. In my case, it's 1 of 30. So this is the first response, and I've got 30 responses in the chat. If you run out of responses, you can simply start a new chat, which you can also do if you just want to change the subject. So the quickest way to do that is to navigate down to the chat box and to click the New Topic button, the chat bubble icon, and this refreshes the chat. Now we can again choose a conversation style. So this time I'd like a more creative response. I'll click More Creative. And instead of typing my question, I can also dictate one. So to do so, I'm going to click the microphone icon, and then I'll speak my question. How can I use Copilot in Windows 11 to be more productive? When I'm finished speaking, my question is automatically submitted.
Searching for Copilot in Windows 11. Windows Copilot is a new feature in Windows 11 that provides centralized AI assistance to help you easily take action and get things done. You can use Windows Copilot to access various Windows features.
You can see that Copilot speaks the response. You can click where the microphone button was to stop the response, which is what I've just done. And of course, we can also read the response here in the window. Now you've seen how to chat with Copilot in Windows 11. Since Copilot is integrated into Windows 11, you can use it to control various aspects of your PC. See how to activate and deactivate features like dark mode and do not disturb, as well as how to access specific settings pages. I've got Copilot open on my PC. Now I can use it to activate a variety of system settings just by telling it what I want it to do. I'll click inside the chat box and now type in a command. I want to activate dark mode, so I'll type turn on dark mode and press enter to submit. Then it generates a dialog box with the option to confirm or say no thanks. I'll click yes to turn on dark mode. If I want to turn it off, I can easily do this with Copilot as well. I'll type turn off and press enter. And in the new dialog box that opens, once again click yes to confirm. We can do the same thing with do not disturb, so turn on do not disturb. I'll submit the request, and once again click yes in the dialog box that opens to confirm. Now this turns on do not disturb, which will mute my notifications. One of the follow-up questions here is, how do I turn off the do not disturb mode? I'm going to click there, and when I do, another dialog box appears, allowing me to turn off do not disturb mode. I'll click yes to turn it off. Now, it may be that you want to manage a part of your system and you're not exactly sure where to go in your settings. For example, if I want to manage my Bluetooth devices, I'll type in manage Bluetooth devices and press enter. And now Copilot has opened up the Bluetooth and devices page of the setting app for me, so I can find the settings that I need. And if we scroll up in the chat, we can see that Copilot also asks me if I want to open the settings app. It's gone ahead and done that without a need for confirmation. There's also a dialog box here asking me if I want to turn on Bluetooth. For now, I'll click no thanks. And now I'll click the X icon in the top right to close the settings app. And now you've seen how to use Copilot to control your Windows 11 system. You can use Copilot to quickly take a screenshot. In addition, Copilot can analyze images copied to your clipboard, on the web, or uploaded from your PC. See how you can use these features in this tutorial. I've got a company's organizational chart open in PowerPoint, and Copilot is open on the right edge of my PC. I'd like to take a screenshot of this chart so I can ask Copilot some questions. So Copilot can help me take a screenshot. I'll go down to the chat box, click inside, and ask Copilot to take a screenshot. Press enter to submit my query. Copilot takes a moment to think, and it automatically opens the snipping tool for me. Now I can use this snipping tool to take a screenshot. So I can select a rectangular mode, freeform mode, the default window mode, or full screen mode to take a screenshot. I'll select rectangular mode, and now click and drag with my mouse to draw a rectangle over the chart and release to take a screenshot. Now, instantly, Copilot asks me if I want to add the copied image to my chat. So I'll click Add. And now I can ask it anything about the screenshot simply by typing in a question. I'll ask Explain this image and press Enter. Copilot takes a moment to analyze the image, and it comes up with a pretty detailed description. It understands that this is an organizational chart. It tells me about the color of the chart, the different people and their positions who are represented in the chart. But of course, we can ask Copilot to refine it a little bit. So for example, if I want this description to be briefer, I just want a summary, maybe for my PowerPoint presentation, I can say, make a list of Hamotic employees and their positions. Now I'll press enter, and it summarizes this information in a bulleted list. If you wanted, you could also ask Copilot to create alternative text or captions. But let's go on to an image I've got saved to my PC. So there are a few ways that we can add images from the web or the PC. One is to click this Add an Image button in the bottom left corner of the chat box. And here you'll find a field where you can paste in an image or a link, or select Upload from this device. I'll select this last option, and now this opens File Explorer where I can see the image that I'd like to add. So I'm going to select this image and click Open to add the image to the chat. Now note that it's also possible to drag and drop an image from your PC or from the web. Now I'll ask, what is this? Press enter to submit the query along with the image. Once again, Copilot takes a moment to analyze the image, and it comes up with a description of this object that I want to identify. It's a wireless router, it even tells me the brand, and it gives quite a lot of details about this. Now, if I want, I can ask follow-up questions. For example, if I want to find this object and buy it on the web, I can select the follow-up question, what is the price of this router, from the suggestions. You can also ask Copilot to recommend similar products. Now it searches the web for the price of this brand of wireless router. If I scroll up, I can also see that it gives me some links and ads to buy this product or similar products. So now you've seen how to analyze images in Copilot and a few applications. Copilot uses a powerful large language model to perform a variety of text processing tasks from summary to translation. You can ask Copilot about content open in Microsoft Edge as well as text in your clipboard. I've got my company's About page open in Microsoft Edge, and Copilot is open on the right edge of my PC. I could go down to the chat box and ask Copilot just about anything about the website that I have open, and it will be able to respond. However, I can see in the center of this Copilot side panel that summarize the page in Microsoft Edge is a suggested action. So I'm just going to click there to go ahead and automatically submit this question, summarize the page in Microsoft Edge. I can see that Copilot is searching my active Microsoft Edge tab, and now it generates a response based on the page that I have open. So it tells me correctly that the web page context is about a company called Homatic, that it's a company that designs and builds smart homes, that its team works with cutting edge technology, and it tells me all of this in a pretty concise way with bullet points. I can ask any follow-up question I want about this text or subject, or choose one of the suggestions below. So one of the suggested questions is, how can I contact Homatic for more information? I'll select this suggestion, which is submitted to the chat. And now Copilot searches the web for information about the company. It gives me some contact information and the different sources. Maybe you want to work with text that's in an app other than Edge, whether it's in an email or a document. I'm going to go down to the taskbar and click the Word icon to switch over to Microsoft Word, where I have a document open. And I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control A to select all of the text in this document, and the keyboard shortcut Control C to copy the text to my clipboard. Now, immediately in the chat, we can see this option to send selected or copied text to chat. We can actually see a copy of this text, and I can use my mouse scroll wheel or this little scroll bar to scroll down and check that all of the text is there, keeping in mind that it can hold up to 2,000 characters. So I'm going to click send to send this long text to the chat, and I'll scroll down to see the follow-up in the chat asking me what I want to do with the chat. Here we've got a few options through the suggestions. We can explain the text, revise, summarize, or expand. These are probably the most common things you'd want to do with it, but really the sky's the limit if you want to ask your own questions. I'm going to select summarize, and we can see that Copilot now generates a summary, and this is a significantly shortened version of the text. Another thing that you can do with text that could come in handy is to translate. Let's say I want to share this summary with someone I know who speaks Chinese. I'll click inside the chat box and type, translate your last answer into Mandarin Chinese. I'll press enter to submit this question, and sure enough, Copilot immediately generates a translation of the text. I'll click stop responding to stop this response. And now you've seen how to process text with Copilot. With Copilot, you can access all the creative potential of generative AI right from your PC. Copilot uses GPT-4's large language model to produce any kind of text from emails to blog posts and more. It also harnesses the power of DALL-E 3 to create images from a prompt. I've got Copilot open on the right edge of my PC. Now I need a little help writing a happy birthday email to a colleague, so I'm going to ask Copilot. First, I'm going to choose a conversation style. I'll select more creative for this task. And now I'll click inside the chat box and type in my prompt. Help me write a happy birthday email to my colleague, Julia Campbell. From me, John. Now I'll click submit. This submits the question to the chat. Copilot takes a moment to think. And first, it opens a dialog box asking me if I want to open Outlook. I'll click yes. So Copilot opens the Outlook app for me. I'll click the new email button in the ribbon to start a new email. And we can see that Copilot has also responded with a draft of an email. I'll scroll down to read this draft. It looks pretty good, pretty detailed, but it's a little long, so Copilot can easily tweak the text. In this case, I'm going to say, please make this shorter and add some emojis. I'll press enter to submit, and Copilot generates the revised text. So I'm going to scroll up, hover over this text, and you'll notice there's a pop-up with some options we can like or dislike to give feedback to Microsoft, and there's a copy button, which I'll click. This copies the text to the clipboard. I'll click inside my email body and use Control V to paste in this email. It's always a good idea to reread and maybe revise the text. So I'm going to select and delete parts of this text that I don't need. And next I'd like to add an image to spruce up this email. So once again, I'll click inside the conversation box and type in my prompt. Create a picture of a blue birthday cake that says Julia. I'll press enter to submit. Copilot generates the image, and it actually suggests a few different images instead of just one. Like with text, we can revise these images. So I'm going to use a suggestion below to tweak these images a little bit. I'll select the suggestion, can you add some candles to the cake? And now I've got some suggested images with lots of candles. I'll choose the one I like, and I can actually drag and drop to quickly insert a link to the image in Bing Image Creator here in the email. So I'll drag and drop an image right into the email body, and this adds the link. I can open the link here in the email, or instead I'll click the image in Copilot to see a larger version of this image in Bing Image Creator, which opens in Microsoft Edge. You'll notice there are some options for managing this image. We can share, save it to Bing Image Creator, and download the image. There's also an option which is a little cut off, which is to customize the image. And if we right-click an image in Copilot, we'll also see some different options for managing it. For example, we can save the link, save the image, and copy the image. I'll click away to close this context menu, and I'll close this Edge window as well. And now you've seen how to generate images and text in Copilot for Windows 11.